Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the pod. Thank you for being here. Let's get into it right now. Thank you. This is the pod. Ladies and gentlemen, I have quite a presentation to present to you. As you already know, Hernrietta Lacks family has gotten a settlement after 70 years of battling the medical establishment. Now, what I want to do is I want to play you an audio. This is a professor from Brown University who explains in short what happened to Henrietta Lacks when she originally went to Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore, Maryland. That's where I was born. And they began to treat her like a guinea pig in terms of once they discovered that there was something very unique about her. The family has gotten a settlement, but it doesn't stop there with Thermo Fisher, which is the biotech company that has been profiting off of her body for a number of years. Let me start with this audio to get you started, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go.
Social worker.
Henrietta Lacks was an African-American woman. She was poor. She went to Johns Hopkins Hospital. She was bleeding, in pain, and as it turns out, she had cervical cancer, but it was stage 4 and advanced by the time she presented to the hospital. Now, as they were attempting to understand what was going on with her, they took cells. And although they could not treat her, the cancer was too advanced, as she died at a young age. I don't think she was more than 31. Her cells turned out to be quite useful. People in the lab began to notice, or the physician began to notice, these cells survive in a way that normal human cells do not. They continue to live and replicate and live and replicate. Most human cells, once outside the body, after a period of time, will die. So these cells became invaluable to research on diseases, treatments, developing vaccines, and they were shipped around the world and have been used in countless labs to do all kinds of research that has benefited not just American society, but communities around the world.
There you have it right there, folks. They used her as a guinea pig. They took advantage of her. And this is why the family deserves everything that they settled for. Now, the only issue I have with settlement is they did not let us know exactly, ladies and gentlemen, what was the settlement. How much? It's undisclosed right now. I had a chance to listen to Benjamin Crump, and I got to be honest, I've been very critical of Benjamin Crump over the years, but I have to say this time around, Benjamin Crump got it right. Because it does not stop at just Thermo Fisher, the biotech company. When I tell you what's about to happen, the HeLa, her DNA was very extraordinary. She is literally the mother of medical science today. More people should know her name than know her name. That is the cells that they discovered that were very unusual. Let me also give you some more background information on Hernrietta Lacks. And I want to say shout out to her family. They deserved everything that they've got coming to them and then some. And I'm going to tell you exactly what's about to happen further. This whole situation is not over, ladies and gentlemen. Hernrietta Lacks was a poor African-American or a poor black woman raised on a tobacco farm. She was a tobacco farmer in Virginia. After she died in 1951, medical research collected her cells. They named these cells HeLa cells. These cells changed the course of medical research. In fact, some people argue that most of the world's population has benefited from research using HeLa cells. This is quite extraordinary. Let me put another picture of her based off the thumbnail that I use. I believe this may be her husband, significant other, or family member that's right next to her on this is old school as it gets. These are really copied prints of an actual legitimate picture. HeLa cells, visit almost any cell culture lab and you will find millions, if not billions, ladies and gentlemen, of these frozen HeLa cells. Basically, I'm telling you all right now, if you've had a vaccine, if you've had any shots any type of medicine that's been administered to you, polio medicine, okay, medicine for HIV, medicine for Parkinson's disease, any type of medical research that has helped your life, as they say, you got a little bit of Hernrietta Lacks in your body. She is in our bodies. She is the medical establishment that society, particularly white society, used her, manipulated her when she was going there to get a medical procedure due to the cervical cancer that she ended up dying from. And it was terminal. I think it was stage 4. And once they discovered that there was something more unusual about her, they decided to use her. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you right now, this is bigger than just the case against Thermo Fisher. This is going to get more deeper. Now, let me also say this in my commentary, as I thank you all for coming in. This is the podcast, so this will not be a 2 or 3 hour. This will be short, sweet, and to the point. but I want you all to hear what I'm saying. If you can hear the voice, my voice right now, hit a 7 in the chat room. We want to make sure that you can hear what I'm saying is coming through crispy and to the point. This situation with the settlement is not over. According to Crump, this is why I got to give him some kudos. As much as I've been critical of him as well, we got to give him a clap here. And the reason why we got to give him a clap here, ladies and gentlemen, is because Crump is going to go after all Fortune 500 biotech companies. That's right. He's going after all of them. He just said that today on the Joe Madison show, the Black Eagle, that he is going after all of them. And they're also taking it to an international courts because not only has Thermo Fisher benefited, and I'm going to read to you, when I read to you some of the things that are I need everybody to be patient. I'm going to take my time with this. I need you to get your drink, your popcorn, whatever it is that makes you relax at this time of the evening and hear everything that I'm about to say. They're about to take this situation to the international courts because not only has it been Fortune 500 companies in America, biotech companies that have benefited from her DNA, from a black woman's DNA. And we always say, black people, black men and women, we are the original people. This is a perfect, realistic, in real time reality that we are the original people because it is from her cells that many of you are able to maintain life right now, maintain medical stability because of her cells. This all took place in 1951 when she went into Johns Hopkins for treatment and a guinea pigged her. I found out today, I didn't know how deep it went, that Johns Hopkins medical facility, university, whatever we call it, they use radiation wires. They put radiation wires in Hernrietta Lacks' body. They guinea pigged her, experimented on her, and they knew that she was going to die through the terminal condition of her cancer, but they knew that they could use her cells because they saw something that was incredible. They saw her cells replicating. They saw that her cells would not die. Usually your cells, when a person is dying, eventually those cells will rapidly die out at some point in time, but her cells kept replicating themselves, cloning themselves. Now I'm going to say this, and I appreciate everybody in the chat room. No nonsense is here. Indy's in the house. Alicia's in the house. Another CG. I'm going to say this very clearly. We've been getting caught up in worrying about whether celebrities like Jamie Foxx, whether they're cloned or not. We've been getting caught up in this type of nonsense. We've been wondering, okay, Jamie Foxx doesn't look like himself. Although the man was sick and lost a lot of weight, you're going to look a little different when you lose weight and you get sick. But we've been so caught up in whether celebrities or certain well-known people have been cloned when we should have been looking at the real evidence of cloning, or the real evidence of cloning someone's cells to replicate, to create medical miracles based on the black DNA of a black woman. You see, while we waste time wondering about whether a celebrity has been cloned, we should have been paying attention to the real clonization in this country, which is the cloning of Henrietta Lacks. That's the real cloning, folks. So they have been experimenting on black people from time immemorial. We can talk about the Tuskegee, Alabama experiment in which they gave syphilis to a select number of black men watched them die of it, didn't give them the cure to see how it breaks the body down. The medical establishment in America was built off the backs of black people, which is why reparations has to be in fashion. They have been experimenting. Most of the medical establishment in this country was built off the back of black bodies, even before Henrietta Lacks. But it was Henrietta Lacks' DNA, her cells, that sped up the sophistication, the modernization of our medical systems today. While the family has negotiated a settlement, I argue that the family should own the medical establishment outright.
Tell the truth.
When I tell you some of the things that are going to blow you away, it is necessary to understand how deep this is. You see, folks, let me read this to you. Thermo Fisher Scientific has known that the HeLa cell were stolen from Miss Lacks, Henrietta Lacks, and chose to use her body for profit any way they could. The lawsuit alleged that it's been previously reported that Thermo Fisher scientists said that they generated about, are you ready for this? $35 billion, ladies and gentlemen, off of her DNA in annual revenue, which the family for over 70 years never got a taste of any of this money. Now, within the 70 years that this country's medical establishment was revolutionized by Henrietta Lacks' DNA, all of you that are living today, I'm going to say it again, not only all of us in this chat room, depending on medical conditions that you've had or treatments that you've had, depending on those things, all of us in America that fit that criteria and outside of America, we have Henrietta Lacks in our body. For she is the mother of the medical establishment that they have enriched themselves off of. In a lawsuit, Lacks Estates asked that the company's full amount of its net profits attained by commercialization of the HeLa cell lines to the estate of Henrietta Lacks. The suit also sought an order stopping the company from using the HeLa cells without the in-state permission, meaning the family's permission. This is the thing. Johns Hopkins has jumped out the window and have tried to say that they didn't sell her DNA, that they simply went through a process of trying to treat her for the cancer, that they used her HeLa cells knowingly and gave it away to the medical establishment to create things. If you believe that Johns Hopkins did not profit from these HeLa cells, I could sell you a bridge in Brooklyn. They're totally lying. They're trying to make excuses. Now, when I heard Crump speak about this, he said that they tried to use everything and throw out the kitchen sink to keep this family from getting a settlement. They tried to say statute of limitations have passed. You can't do it because of statute of limitations. However, they were profiting off of a woman, a black woman's DNA without her permission, without her signing any documentation to say, yes, I give you permission to use my DNA. So therefore, they were in complete violation of her Fourth Amendment right. This is very important. They violated her Fourth Amendment right by having the audacity of doing what they did. They also tried to use the excuse about, well, what about the great-great-grandchildren? We're concerned that the other family members, meaning the offspring, or these are family members right in here, right? let's say that these family members have children. So now during that lawsuit, they tried to bring up rhetoric saying that they're concerned that if these family members have children, the younger ones, of course, have children, that they somehow are concerned that the children's children will be able to sue them for money. And Benjamin Crump said that no one says that about the children that are the heir of Thomas Edison, white children that are the heir of all these inventions or stolen inventions that these white inventors or doctors or biotech doctors who have made billions of dollars, and guess what? Their family members reap the benefit. Nobody is concerned about the family members of different generations being able to recoup money from an invention that some white person so-called created. But yet when it comes to black people, they want to make excuses when it comes to paying us, which is the same thing that they're doing with reparations. This is what's going on behind the scenes. Crump says that they're going to the international courts because not only in America have they been benefiting from selling these cells, replicating these cells, cloning these cells, and making money off of it, boo-hoo money. Not only in America, they're going after more companies, but they're going after the international companies who have benefited economically from biological, listen to what I'm saying, from biological intellectual, that's what I call it, biological intellectual property. Property that's biological in nature that belongs to a person, in this case, Hernrietta Lacks, black woman. So when we say that black people are the original people, the cream of the earth, of the planet, we truly are. Because without her, our medical establishment would not be where it is today over these 70 years. Let me continue furthermore. The family of Henrietta Lacks, a black woman whose cells were used without permission to form the basic of the decades of scientific research, has reached a settlement with the biotech company Thermo Fisher Scientific. The cells, known as HeLa cells, were taken from Lacks without knowledge or consent in 1951 when she was seeking cervical cancer treatment at Johns Hopkins in Baltimore. Doctors discovered that the cells doubled every 20 to 24 hours in the lab instead of dying. This is very important. They were the first human cells that scientists successfully cloned. Once again, I think we're worrying about the wrong people in the wrong situations while we focus on celebrities and wondering whether they are cloned, which I don't give a damn. We should really be worrying about what's the real truth, which is what they're doing to everyday regular black people are the ones you should be concerned about when it comes to cloning. Now, let me break something down. To clone someone, you have to start at the embryo level. You have to reproduce someone. You can't just clone someone and voila, they are a functioning 34, 50-year-old adult. When you clone someone, they're cloned where they are a baby all over again. So even if someone like Jamie Foxx was cloned, how the hell would he be the age of Jamie Foxx right now? They would have to clone him from a child age. Just like they clone animals, they're babies, they're calves first. It's science. We're worrying about celebrities when we should really be worrying about everyday, regular people. Now, you all have probably watched the movie Cloning Tyrone, and Jamie Foxx was in that. I watched that movie. There's a lot of goofy stuff in that movie, but what was happening in that movie? They were doing research and examining black people. Just regular, everyday black people, not celebrities. We should be more concerned about what's happening to everyday, regular black people, not celebrities, not Hollyweird, but regular black folks. What are they doing to us? Because Henrietta Lacks is a perfect example that they are experimenting on us, using our genetic material to profit. And celebrities and athletes and sports and all this sport and play is a distraction. Jamie Foxx was a distraction. While they got you worrying about whether Jamie Foxx is cloned, the real cloning has been going on for over 70 years. And that's Hernrietta Lacks.
Tell the truth.
While we're watching celebrities and athletes and wasting time and energy on whether they are cloned, the real people are being cloned at the DNA level are black people like Hernrietta Lacks, who we're not paying any attention to because we're caught up in worrying about what's going on with the celebrity. It's easy to say, this celebrity is cloned. He doesn't look the same as he did before. When you seen him, that's the smoke gun, right? That's the manipulation right there. Get you to focus on the celebrity and not the real people that count. That's the damn distraction. That's the psyop. Get you focused on celebrities and the distraction of entertainers and whether they're cloned, when that's the psyop to make you think about them and not the regular everyday person like this beautiful woman right here, Hernrietta Lacks. We've been played. We've been bamboozled. We've been hoodwinked. We've been manipulated by following and looking in the wrong direction for what we think is happening when we should have been looking at Hernrietta Lacks' case and should have been talking about a lot more than we have over the years on these YouTube streets. These are the sales, replication. Don't think that they just stopped at doing this to her. How many other black people that they have discovered things about that they're trying to do experiments on? You know that black people have melanin. Melanin is what's in the universe. Melanin is what created the universe. Black holes are made of melanin. Everything on this earth is made of melanin. Water, everything, plants, animals, all of us. They've been studying that. They want to bottle that up. They've been looking at dark matter. They want to figure out how can they harness dark matter and put it in a bottle. What do I mean by put it in a bottle? It's a metaphor, what I'm saying. They want to control the power of it, and they haven't figured it out. They're trying to get close. Hernrietta Lacks is the only one that we know publicly through history had these type of cells. But I would argue that there might be other black people who have had this DNA in their body that we just never knew about because they didn't get sick and it didn't get discovered. There's no telling. I want y'all to really hear what I'm saying and make sure you share this video. Hernrietta Lacks herself died in 1951, but her cells continued to be used after her death in research that led to the series of medical advancements, including in the development of polio vaccines, treatment for cancer. Any of you out there who have family members or even yourself who have struggled with cancer or had cancer and you were able to beat cancer, you better thank Hernrietta Lacks for that because you got her in your system. Now, this is the sad thing about it. Do you know that the Hernrietta Lacks family was only aware that the medical establishment was using her DNA? They were only aware about this, and they were aware of this only until during the 1970s. Prior to the 1970s, they didn't know anything about her DNA being used. They didn't know anything about the manipulation that was taking place. They didn't know anything until they found out at that time. I want y'all to really hear what I'm saying here. In 2021, the Lacks family, they filed a lawsuit against Thermo Fisher Scientific, which is the settlement that they got now, alleging that the company was mass producing and selling tissues taken from Henrietta Lacks's body, even after becoming well known that the materials had been taken from her without her consent. As I said before, the suit was filed exactly 70 years after her death. Now look, God don't like ugly. This is why I know that there's a higher power here, that there's something spiritual, there's something powerful, that our ancestors are always with us and always watching. Do you know that when they broke this story yesterday on her birthday, when she would have been 103 years old if she was alive today, that the family got this settlement exactly. The spirits work in mysterious ways, that they got the settlement. This story broke on the day of her birthday, 70 years to the date of her birthday, August the 1st. When the family got this settlement, they haven't disclosed. And for those of you who say, well, it's just a settlement for this one company. No, they're going after other companies. It ain't over. I'm telling you again, let's get out of celebrity. Let's focus on the everyday regular. We need to be focusing on what our doctors and the medical establishment are doing to us right now. Question everything. The celebrities and the entertainers are the distraction. They want you to think that they're cloned, that they're the ones being experimented on, right? And while we're watching them and saying, ooh, Jamie Foxx doesn't look like himself anymore, while we're focusing on that, that's the fake. That's the fake stuff. The real stuff is what they did to Henrietta Lacks. That's the real deal. That's the real McCoy. I want y'all to hear this right now.
After more than 70 years, a measure of justice for the family of Henrietta Lacks, whose cells were taken without her family's consent and led to groundbreaking medical discoveries. Here's Jake Ward.
Henrietta Lacks is inside all of us, in treatments and vaccines her cells made possible. And tonight, her family is finally being compensated for her contributions.
Such sacrifice that she had to give of herself that benefited all the world.
Lacks died of cervical cancer in 1951 at Johns Hopkins, where, in a racially segregated ward, doctors cut out a sample of her cancer cells without her permission. The cells, nicknamed HeLa, were the first to grow well in a lab and are now a bedrock of modern medicine. Her family sued multi-billion-dollar Thermo Fisher Scientific in 2021, saying the company, quote, made staggering profits by using the HeLa cell line, although it, quote, has known that HeLa cells were stolen from Ms. Lacks. The family settled for an undisclosed amount Monday. Thermo Fisher says it's pleased the case is resolved, but had no further comment.
Today on her 103rd birthday, we got justice. Her legacy is in good hands. Our family is standing together in solidarity to push forward. We're going to keep making sure Henrietta never dies, such as her HeLa cells never died.
Lacks was an impoverished tobacco farmer, a mother of 5 when she developed cervical cancer, and never knew that her unique cells would be part of everything from genome mapping to the eradication of polio.
And Hopkins made all that money off of our mother!
The immortal life of Henrietta Lacks brought worldwide attention to her.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see right there, this is a very serious situation. What they did, manipulating, playing games, taking her cells. This is what they do. Now, HeLa, let me break down what HeLa cells are, the importance of HeLa cells. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Among the important scientific discoveries of the last century was the first immortal human cells, so they call them immortal human cells, line known as the HeLa, a remarkable, durable, prolific line of cells attaining during the treatment of Henrietta cancer treatment at Johns Hopkins research by Dr. George Gray in 1951. These are thieves, by the way. They are complete thieves. Now check this out. This is what Johns Hopkins is trying to claim, and I hope they come for them next. Although these were the first cells that could be easily shared at multiple lab settings, Johns Hopkins has never sold or profited from the discovery or distribution of the HeLa cells and does not own the rights to the HeLa cell line. I do not believe that. I do not believe that. I believe that Johns Hopkins did get some profit from this. Of course, they're going to push the line that they didn't. And I wouldn't be surprised if they allegedly destroyed, in my opinion, this is my opinion, I wouldn't be surprised if they got rid of records that could prove that they made profit. This is an opinion. HeLa cells do not own the rights to the HeLa cell line. Rather, Johns Hopkins offered HeLa cells freely and widely for scientific research. This is what Johns Hopkins is saying. Another way to let themselves get off the hook. Over the past several decades, this cell has contributed to many medical breakthroughs, from research effective to the zero. Oh, check this out. Not only has her cell, this is why you know, black folks, we are the original people. Our DNA is original. Not only was the HeLa cells effective for the cancer treatments I was saying, the Parkinson's, the polio, HIV or AIDS, and it was also part of leukemia, and it was involved in leukemia studies. So people who have leukemia have benefited from it. And I know people don't like the vaccine that people were taking, that vaccine called 19, but also it was involved, those HeLa cells were involved in that vaccine that people didn't want to take. Okay, check this out. Research on effective zero gravity in outer space in the development of polio, as I said, vaccines. So the HeLa cells have been effective in understanding zero gravity in outer space travel. So when it comes to the astronauts, people traveling into space, HeLa cells are very important to the development of understanding zero gravity in outer space. Can y'all believe this? I said again, the family should own literally they should literally own lock, stock, and barrel. They should literally own the medical establishment, lock, stock, and barrel. This is a statue. They should literally own it, stock, lock, and barrel. The HeLa cell went on to become a cornerstone of modern medicine. Do y'all hear me, y'all? Modern medicine. Meaning the medicine treatment, the treatments that you're getting today, you have to owe a thanks and respect to Hernrietta Lacks. She is the mother of the medical establishment. Unfortunately, she became the mother of it against her will. They took from her. But it is remarkable what her cell structure was able to do, although stolen, and the family never reaped any type of benefit whatsoever by the stolen DNA. The HeLa cells went on to be a cornerstone of the modern day medical establishment, enabling countless scientific and medical innovations, including the development, and we talked about that already. Oh, it also hurt. The HeLa cells also were instrumental in creating genetic mapping. The first start of genetic mapping for scientists began with the HeLa cells from Hernrietta Lacks. The family should literally own the medical establishment. They should literally be getting billions of dollars every year. And they had the nerve during the lawsuit to try to stop them from getting this settlement by saying, we're concerned about whether the other family members, the grandkids, can come back and get us. No, they're going to get that money as well. They tried to use statute of limitations to stop it. And I gotta give credit to Crump. He was able to stop them. Crump said that by winning this case, they set into not only national precedents, but they set, with the Fourth Amendment, they set international precedents with what they did. This is a real mural of her that was painted of her. Beautiful mural of Henrietta Lacks. But Crump said that this has opened a gateway for them to go after the international community based on what they did in this courtroom. And it also has opened up the door for them to go after other Fortune 500 biotech companies, because by winning this case, they have the blueprint to go after all these raggedy ass companies. I want to thank everybody in the chat room that's here. Brother Yapo, so I see you there. Indy, Carlston Way, everybody that's there. Jill's Chocolate, Cartel. I need you all to share this podcast out. I won't be on much longer. Share this podcast out in your social media. This is one of my most important that I could ever do on this platform. Many people will waste time on this platform, as I told you, having panels and talking about subject matters that do not matter in the real world. On my channel, I talk about real world things that can affect you now and in the future. I talk about solutions. We deal with real world issues, not make believe. I'm not giving you the battle of the sexist conversation over here, which we as black people need to wake up and understand that we are under attack at all levels. We're wasting a lot of time getting into fruitless conversations and battles about relationship. We best to get our shit together. We best to recognize that we have enemies out here trying to destroy us. Do I need to remind you? I don't care how tired people get of me playing this. I'm going to keep playing it till the crows come home, because it's the truth.
Thing having to do with black people, the white supremacists are involved. I mean, otherwise there would be no such thing as white supremacy. You know, if black people were just walking around, I mean, with nothing affecting them, you know, in economics, in education, in entertainment, any of the 9 areas of activity, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, war. If black people weren't affected by the system of white supremacy, there would be no point in talking about white supremacy. So the hypothesis is, the conclusion has to be based on logic and evidence. Everything that black people do, every move that they make anywhere on this planet called Earth, is dominated by the system of white supremacy. That's what it's designed to do. Dominate all of the affairs of people classified as non-white.
I want to say again on this podcast, this pod tonight, that I really want people to think about what I was saying about how we have to be able to read what the real distractions are. Because Henrietta Lacks wasn't a celebrity. She wasn't a singer or entertainer. And so what this society does is it uses those as distraction and manipulates us to focus on that which is not really the reality, when the reality is what they're doing to the everyday person, like a Henrietta Lacks. because you're not going to, none of us are looking at the regular everyday person. That's how sinister it is. They know we're not going to look for it in the everyday regular person who doesn't have a big platform or is put on a pedestal. So they give you that as a distraction when the truth of the matter is they go after the regular everyday person. So if you want to talk about cloning, experimentation, it's happening on the regular everyday person. And Henrietta Lacks is a perfect example of what I'm saying tonight to you. Let me go on to say this further in this analysis tonight. Although many other cell lines are used today, ladies and gentlemen, the HeLa cells have supported advancements in the medical research in years since HeLa cells were isolated in a laboratory. It is the basis of our medical systems. It is the basis of the biotech companies in this country. It is the foundation of it. While most cells simply die, this is what made her cells unique, because they do not die. Remember, I'm going to say this. A lot of us have it wrong. We've been conditioned to believe that life is linear. You're born, you're young, you're an embryo, you're a baby, you live, you become a 20-year-old, a teenager, a 20 years old, a 30-year-old, 40 years old, you get old, and then you die, and that's the end of your life when we know that we're spirit as well. You have it wrong. Time is circular. Lifespan is circular. What this shows you that her cells did not die means that even though she's physically not here, her cells still live on in all of you who have had treatments. That means that she is not. This concept of death is a social construct. We're not here in the physical body anymore, but you're here in the spirit, and your DNA is still living on, which means life is circular. Life is not linear where it stops. It means that even when you're no longer here in the physical, you're still existing in the circular lifespan, just like trees and plants that they fall to the ground and then they replicate themselves. This is a perfect example that life does not end just in the physical body. Your life continues, maybe not in a physical body, but in another form, maybe even in another dimension. While most cells simply die shortly after being removed from the body, Henrietta Lacks' cells survived and thrived in the laboratory. They became known as the first immortal. Immortal, hear me, immortal. We've been taught that humans can't be immortal. Her genetic material is immortal, y'all. That is a clue right there that our whole concept of life and death is twisted around. You are more than simply the body that you're in. So even though when we lose family members and we cry, we're crying mainly because we won't see them physically anymore and we won't be able to talk to them in the physical. But guess what? Your family member has just did what? They have recloned themselves. Cloning is real. They have recloned themselves naturally. Why? You are the offspring of your father, your mother. So some of you in the chat room right now, and those of you listening, if you look just like your father, how do you explain when you are born of your father and mother and your family member says, damn, you eat just like your mom or your dad? And you may not even have met your family member. Maybe they had passed away when you were a baby. Or you walk like them, you talk like them, you look like them. Even your hairline looks like them. Because you are a reproduction, a cloned reproduction through the cell structure and DNA. You are a reincarnation of your family member. So therefore, if you are the living blood of your family member, then there is no such thing as death as we know it. Only death in the social construct of it that we know it as, because you're no longer physically in the body talking and moving. But if I produce a child, a son, a daughter, I'm living in them through the DNA. So it's circular, not linear. These are concepts that they don't want to teach you about in this society because they want to get us caught up in this, you're born and you die. That's an ideology that we've been manipulated by. Because when I read this to you and it says that her cells were continuing to live outside of her body when she passed away in the laboratory, which they call the immortal human cells line, because scientists could cultivate her cells indefinitely. That meant scientists anywhere could reproduce the study using identical cells. And we're worrying about celebrities, whether they're being cloned, when we should be worrying about the regular, everyday person born in this society. That's the one thing that was interesting about they cloned Tyrone, because they were doing what? Experimenting on regular people. Well, basically what happened, that all of them, they were all cloned. Jamie Foxx's character, the three main characters in the movie, they didn't realize that they were the clones. Reprogrammed. Unnaturally, but we as humans can clone ourselves naturally through the love between a man and a woman, that's right, who give birth to a child. That's a clone of your genetic material. Some of you may say, Info Man is on a soapbox tonight. Let me describe something to you right now, ladies and gentlemen. Definitely share this video. I appreciate all of you here listening. I hope you're getting something out of this presentation. We got Big Dog Philly OG. I hope you're appreciating what I'm saying. The psyop and the distraction is the celebrities that we say, hey, that celebrity's been cloned. That's the manipulation. That's the let me pull the rabbit out of the hat. It's the everyday regular person. They've been experimenting on black folks since we got here. That's been the trick right there. The term cloning is described as a number of different processes that can be used to produce genetic identical copies of biological entities. The copy material, which has the same genetic makeup as the original, is referred to as a clone. Do clones ever occur naturally? Uh-oh, what did I just say? Yes, in nature, some plants and single-cell organisms, such as bacteria, producing genetic identities, offsprings through a process called asexual reproduction. This happens in nature. Humans just do it when we reproduce and have a baby, a daughter or a son. Why is it that you can be born and you can look damn near like your great-grandparents when you look at a photo of your great-grandfather or your great-grandmother and you say, damn, I look just like them. I'm damn near a damn clone of them. In asex reproduction, a new individual is generated from a copy of a single cell from the parent organism. Natural clones, check this out. Natural clones, also known as identical twins. My father is an identical twin. And remember, they tell you if you come from parents that are identical twins, it usually jumps a generation, which means you have the DNA in you to produce twins as well. The twins occur in humans and other mammals. These twins are produced when a fertilized egg splits. We know this is basic biology, creating two or more embryos that carry almost identical DNA. Identical twins have nearly the same genetic makeup as each other. But you notice, let's be honest here. You notice when you have identical twins, they may look the same, but they don't always think the same. They have two different personalities. So when you start talking about somebody who's been cloned, you got to realize even identical twins, my uncles, I can see it straight up. My father and his brother, although they look just alike, they both look alike, have the same features in the face, but they don't think alike. They both have different ideations, different thought processes, have different taste in music, maybe some similarities here and there, but difference. There's a power making these things happen. Hernrietta Lacks was blessed because she's also blessed us. Although the genetic material was taken without her consent. That's the damn shame of it. What are the types of artificial cloning? There are 3 different types of artificial cloning: gene cloning, reproduction cloning, and therapeutic cloning. Did you hear what I said? There's gene cloning, there's reproduction cloning, there's therapeutic cloning. Did you hear what I said, folks? Gene cloning produces copies of genes or segments of DNA. Reproduction cloning produces copies of the whole animal. Therapeutic cloning is aimed at creating tissue. They took her tissues to create the HeLa cells, which has been put in vaccines and medications and things of that nature that they've gotten rich off. That's in our system. If some of us have had treatments, you got a little bit of Hernrietta Lacks in your body, y'all. Experimental, aimed at creating tissues to replace injured or diseased tissues. That's exactly the HeLa cells right there that I just read to you. How are genes cloned? Research routinely use cloning techniques to make copies of genes that they wish to study. Didn't they study Hernrietta Lacks' genes? To produce consistencies, insert of genes from one organism, often refers to as foreign DNA, into a genetic material of a carrier called a vector. Y'all know this is basic science, basic biology. Examples of vectors include bacteria, yeast cells, viruses. Can humans make viruses? Or plasma, which are small DNA circles carried by bacteria. After the gene is inserted, the vector is placed in laboratory conditions that prompt it to multiply. And that's what they did with Hernrietta Lacks' genes. They multiplied them, which made it possible for breakthroughs in research, medicine, which the whole damn world has benefited from, but the family did not benefit from. The family was cheated. Hernrietta Lacks was cheated. This is the damn shame of it. This is the truth.
Tell the truth.
This is the truth, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been potted tonight. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. You got something from what I said, but check this out. I don't know how many people have told you this. According to Ben Crump, they're going after all the other companies because the lawsuit has opened the door to go after all the other Fortune 500 companies. They're also going after the foreign companies, the international companies, biotech companies that have been benefiting. This is what they're going to do. I want you to hear what I'm saying. This is what they're going to do, y'all. If you got something out of my presentation and out of this pod, put a 7 in the chat room. I appreciate you all. I'll be back for more of this. share this in your social media because YouTube is not treating this channel well at all. They're trying to hurt me. They're trying to stop the information from coming out. They're trying to suppress the views, suppress how they share it throughout the YouTube algorithms. The best way you can get around it is to share this in your community tab, share this in your social media, share this with people that you know, because the fight is not over. Henrietta Lacks family is going after other companies. So even though you may say, oh, they settled with this company, and how much did they settle for? It's not just this one company. They're going after more companies, and they're going after the international community. They have the rights. Everything is on their side to win it. Precedence has been set. This family should be very, very wealthy, and every great-great-grandchild should benefit financially for the rest. This family and their offspring should benefit for the rest of their life. Another thing that I want to tell you that's a damn shame is that, do you know that Henrietta Lacks family, they've had people in their family, I think her son, who is elderly, he is struggling with health problems. Some of these folks have health issues and they can't even benefit. This is the sick thing about it. This is the sick thing about America, that they have not been able to benefit from the very technology, the very genetic material that was stolen from their family member, Henrietta Lacks. Henrietta Lacks. The Lacks family has not been able to benefit financially, economically, and they have not been able to benefit from the health treatments that her genetic material has benefited people who are affluent and have money to pay for the best treatment. So here you have a family that they stole genetic material from their great-great-grandmother, great-great-great-aunt. They stole the genetic material from her, and they themselves have not been able to benefit from, whether it be financially or whether it be medically. That's a damn shame, y'all.
Tell the truth.
I want that to sink in before I end this presentation tonight. Did y'all hear what I just said? Put a 7 in the chat room. The family has never benefited from the medical technology that was created from her genetic material, her cells that never die, that they were able to replicate and put into medicines and all different types of treatment that we benefit from. Only people that were able to benefit from it are people who have good health insurance or have money to pay for it. This family has not. Henrietta Lacks has a son, I think he is elderly, who is struggling, and he has not been able to benefit. And now, after all this time, after 70 years, on her birthday, this is why you know God is great, on her birthday, which was August 1st, they got the settlement. Now they can benefit after all these years, and they're going after more companies internationally and nationally. Precedence has been set. They violated the 4th Amendment when they did what they did to her. Henrietta Lacks. I thank you all. I thank you all tonight. I thank you. I'll be back with more presentation. I love you all for following this channel, supporting me. No matter how big or small the numbers, the information is more powerful than anything. This presentation tonight is very powerful information to arm ourselves with. We should use our YouTube platforms to inform, to educate, to inspire, to empower, to inform, and make aware. Thank you, everybody. You just got potted.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Tell the truth.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Tell the truth.